Hey Merfolk fans, I'm Joe. Thanks very much for joining me today. If you'd like to support my channel, please check the link to my Patreon page above. I'm here with the fifth and final round of a Modern Friendly League. I'm currently sitting at 3-1. We beat Devoted Company, Mono White, Eldrazi, and Taxes, and 8-Whack Goblins. We lost to Elves in as close a match as you might hope to have against Elves as Merfolk. And yeah, I'm here for the last round. I won the die roll. That's a great way to start it. And this is a beautiful opening hand. The opponent kept their 7, so hopefully it's going to be a great match. Open up with Cursecatcher. We see a Mishra's Bauble is going to be some kind of Death Shadow, probably. They're going to look at their own and presumably so that they, I guess, know what to do next turn, since they didn't play a fetch land. Normally, Mishra's Bauble is a combo with a fetch land. If they see the top of their deck and it's something they don't want, they can crack the fetch and shuffle it away. I don't like this Thoughtseize. I'm going to counter it with Cursecatcher. It both keeps their life total high and keeps our gas in hand. I do not want him to take my Silvergill Adept. Now, we did see that it's black-green, so it could be either Jund, or it could be this Traverse Death Shadow, which is, I think, 4 colors, including blue, actually. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to run out Silvergill Adept so that it cannot get taken out of my hand. I'll reveal one of these Cursecatchers. Opponent has not seen my hand yet, since that Thoughtseize did not resolve. Bloodstained Mire and an Inquisition. So we can't stop that one. He took the Lord. Happy to have resolved the Silvergill Adept. And there's another Lord. So I'm going to go straight to combat, swing in with the Silvergill Adept. Now sometimes you say we don't necessarily want to help these decks rush down to 13 life. But they're not really doing anything right now, and we want to attack. I'm going to put both Cursecatchers out right now. It's going to hopefully slow down things like Kolaghan's Command, and also if I play a Lord, it's going to sort of multiply the impact of the Anthem effect. Opponent down to 15 and choosing not to take 2 off of their Blood Crypt, so presumably correct to attack with Silvergill Adept there. They might not have the Death Shadow in hand yet, since they're not hitting their life total too hard. And there's a tapped Overgrown Tomb, so they're taking things slow, which typically means we want to take things fast. Alright, is a Tarmogoyf. So far, it just looks like Jund Shadow. Silvergill is an awesome draw. We'll just reveal one of the creatures he's already seen. Land would be good, but we hit gas. I mean, that's going to get good once we do hit land. Unfortunately for now, we just have to pass the turn. Polluted Delta, seeing that they may want access to blue land. That's interesting. Let's see. Liliana is okay, but we've got 4 creatures out. I thought they might have tried to make me discard something here to tick her up and make her more of a threat, but I'll just sacrifice a Cursecatcher. With no follow-up, it's a pretty easy decision just to attack all of my creatures into Liliana and just try to get rid of her. If the opponent can remove one of them, he can eat one of them with Tarmogoyf, and the other one will get in. Of course, if they try to remove one of them, I have to sack the Cursecatcher, but then he could block. Let's say that he goes to remove Silvergill and blocks the other Silvergill. Cursecatcher would get through. Let's see. So how could he do this? If I attack just with 2 creatures, right? He can block one and remove the other. Even if I sack Cursecatcher, that's not going to get damage through to Liliana. So we did draw a land, which is awesome. I don't really see a drawback to jamming Reejerey in my main phase. And then, like I said, I'm just going to go all out hitting Liliana. Essentially what we're doing here is trading one of our non-essential creatures for Liliana, which is always going to be a good trade. So Liliana, as a 3-drop, is going to get to deal with 2 of my creatures, since Tarmogoyf gets to eat his choice here. But we really want to get Liliana off the table. Now, the opponent got a breeding pool, which seems pretty dumb to me. What could he want that breeding pool for? Like, Stubborn Denial? There's a Traverse the Uvenwald. He does have Delirium online, so he gets to go get a threat. What did he reveal? Revealed another Tarmogoyf. So here is that Tarmogoyf, and another Traverse the Uvenwald, this time revealing a Death Shadow, which he cannot play because he's at 14 life. Gonna get in with this Tarmogoyf or what? Chooses not to, so I'm gonna get to take over the game with Reejereys at this point. If the opponent wanted to remove the Reejerey, he should have done it on his own turn, because now I'll get at least some value with one tap trigger. Mutavault is nice as mana to open things up, although, let's see, yeah, I kind of needed that land, right? If I play out a second Reejerey now, I can untap one of my lands, and then have 2 mana left to just drop the other 2 guys. So this is going to just be pretty dominating, I think. So tap 3 lands, untap this one. I think I'm just going to play the Lord first, untap 2 lands again. Now I do have Island Walk, and it looks like the opponent doesn't have removal, so it's all a bit academic at this point because the game is over. But I've got the Harbinger. I might as well use it. I could untap Mutavault as another attacker, but as I mentioned, it's all kind of academic, so I'll just tap down the Tarmogoyfs. Yeah, and I was going to get in for exactly 14 at that point. So a pretty straightforward game 1 against what is, I think, what they call Traverse Death Shadow. It's always funny to me because this is a deck that I think made top 8. Pretty sure it made top 8 at the Pro Tour recently, and it's a very powerful deck. And people just sort of write off Merfolk against all of these sort of top 8 tier 1 kind of decks. But we actually have a really strong game plan against a lot of them. So easy game 1. Let's go ahead and look at game 2. Look away if you don't want to see the match results. I'm going to click out of this window now. All right, I am back for game 2. The opponent's going to be on the play. All my cards did a great job that game. Cursecatcher countered a Thoughtseize. Reejerey got to go crazy with his untapped triggers. I'm going to look at my sideboard plan here. All right. So despite doing very well in the previous games, I took out 3 Reejereys, 2 Cursecatchers, and all 4 AEther Vials. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The cards that come in are 2 Dispels. Great against all their removal. 1 Negate. We'd love to counter something like a Liliana or maybe an Anger of the Gods or something like that. Might be correct to bring in both Negates. But if we bring in both Negates, we have to bring out more creatures, and we do want to be able to apply pressure. So I brought in 2 Dispels, 1 Negate, 1 Echoing Truth, and 2 Dismembers, and let's see, what else? I'm trying to remember what's in my sideboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 Echoing Truth, 2 Dismembers, 2 Dispels, 1 Negate that leaves 3 cards. Oh, of course, 3 Relic of Progenitus. So we've got 3 Graveyard Hate cards. We've got 3 counterspells, supplementing our Spell Pierces in the main deck. And then we've got 2 Dismembers and an Echoing Truth to deal with their creatures. Actually, quite a lot of interaction. Opponent kept and is on the play. They're going to shock themselves and then use Thoughtseize, taking away my Lord. Another land was beautiful there. That's exactly what we wanted to hit with these 2 Lords in hand. Run out Cursecatcher and maybe a Tarmogoyf this turn. Let's see, Bloodstained Mire, they're already down to 15, but getting that basic swamp indicates that they are trying to conserve their life total. Tarmogoyf is a big boy, but not gigantic yet. We don't really have too much to do here except just jam a Lord. We have threats, and we need them to have answers. So there's a Lord. What are you going to do about it, basically? Well, he's going to Fatal Push him, so... Tarmogoyf getting in as the 4/5. We can take damage for a little while. We do have Echoing Truth in hand that we need to time carefully to get maximum value in the matchup. If they decide to play a second Tarmogoyf, that would be a great time to play Echoing Truth out. So this turn, I'm just going to run out Mutavault and run out a Lord. try to get in for 2 damage with Cursecatcher. Okay, the opponent takes it, they crack their fetch, and they're down to 12. Again, getting a tapped Shockland, so not hitting their life total very hard. Probably don't have access to Death Shadow yet. You do want to keep tabs on their Delirium count in the graveyard. At this point, they just have 2 sorceries and 2 lands, so they need 2 other types. Dismembering the Lord for the full mana price, not hitting their life total any harder, again makes me think that they're trying to conserve their life total. And choosing not to get in with the Tarmogoyf this time. Again, really, really conservative with their life total. As it stood, I could only get in for 3, but if I play a Lord, I get in for 5, starts getting pretty threatening. So just playing defense for the time being. I guess I get it, but sort of unexpected. Expect the Tarmogoyf to get in there. I'm just going to play the Mutavault and pass here. Spell Pierce was an interesting draw. The opponent's been hitting their land drops. Maybe we can get some value out of Spell Pierce. But another land drop, and of course it is one that gives us Island Walk. I don't know what's going on with this opponent here. Seems to love giving us Island Walk. Now, we have gotten to their end step. We do have an Echoing Truth in hand with mana up. If we bounce this Tarmogoyf, we can double activate Mutavault and get in for 5. Seems like value to me. So, bounce this Tarmogoyf. Now, some people might talk down to bounce spells in these kinds of grindy matchups, but tempo is super important. I mean, I'm going to use my turn. I basically traded a card in my hand for 5 damage on the opponent, and it seems like a pretty good trade to me. If the opponent has something like a Kolaghan's Command in hand, of course Spell Pierce is going to be live. Keep drawing lands, which is not great, but I do get to hold up Spell Pierce after activating both Mutavaults. Swinging for 5, opponent just takes it, they're down to 6. I'm sure we're going to see that Tarmogoyf come back. And here's a Traverse. Now this is an interesting spot. This Spell Pierce is only getting worse, so if I use it now and they pay, let's check if they made their land drop yet. They have not played a land for the turn. So, let's see. If I play Spell Pierce and they go and get a creature, they presumably won't be able to cast it this turn if they pay for Spell Pierce. If I really want to counter the Traverse, of course I can just also sack the Cursecatcher. I'm going to cast this Spell Pierce. The opponent actually let it resolve. Very interesting. Okay, so they're going to play the Tarmogoyf back out, and they do have a land drop to make. All right, so Spell Pierce actually doing a good job. I drew a Master of Waves. It's definitely one of the best cards we could have drawn. It's why I play 4 in the deck, specifically for these kinds of matchups. We can't really attack yet, but neither can the opponent because we've got way more life than them. Mishra's Bauble is going to give them a redraw. They get to look at my hand, but they have to wait till next turn to draw a card. All right, they draw a card off of Mishra's Bauble, sort of delayed trigger, and they saw that I was going to have the Island Walk Lord. So clearly I'm going to play the Island Walk Lord. It's just a matter then of who I attack with. Now, if they drew a Fatal Push, they can't use it to kill Master of Waves. Actually, I think there's literally 0 ways in their deck that they can kill Master of Waves right now because they can't turn on Revolt. If I play the Lord, though, of course they can kill that guy, even if they drew like a Bolt or something. So if I attacked with everybody, and they use a Bolt to kill the Lord, that means they have to block the 2 Mutavaults, or the 2 Mutavaults are the biggest ones, and if they block those guys, they would still be taking 7 damage over here. So it's totally possible, totally reasonable, and probably correct to just play the Lord and turn everybody sideways, because it just wins the game. I can't think of anything else. I mean, it's possible that they might jam a Vapor Snag, but that's not something that such a value-oriented deck would run. Let's see. Does Kolaghan's Command do anything that like Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push doesn't do? I don't think so. So if I play the Lord and swing with everybody, if they don't kill the Lord, let's say they kill a Mutavault, they're still obviously taking lethal. only line for them to survive, I think, is maybe they could have a fog or something, but then we don't even die on the crackback to these Tarmogoyfs. So I might just want to swing with everybody, but another conservative approach is if they do have the removal, let's see. If they don't have removal, if they don't have removal, then swinging with like a Cursecatcher and Mutavault as a 4/4 is going to be enough to kill the guy, and that's going to leave back, I guess, some defense. That's the line that I went with, but having sort of reanalyzed it, I'm pretty sure that just getting it with everybody is the correct line that wins even around removal. Attacking this way with exact lethal is a little bit sketchy because they could even just fatal push our Mutavault if they wanted to and live. But, you know, they still probably would push... No, they would definitely push the Lord and eat my 2 creatures. But it just gives them outs, right? Whereas attacking with everybody would not have given them outs. So even if you feel like you've got the win with the Island Walk, you should take your time, really think about what the opponent could possibly do before making your attacks. As it turned out, they didn't have the removal, and it's funny because with the Mishra's Bauble, they actually saw that I was drawing the Island Walk Lord. They sort of insisted on still playing blue mana, even though they never cast any blue spells. They just really wanted to give me access to Island Walk, I guess. So I went 4-1 in this league. It was a nice follow-up to the previous league where I went 5-0. I guess cumulatively, I'm 9-1 in the last 2 leagues, which is pretty nice. I'm feeling really, really solid playing mono blue again. It's making me very happy. If we close this window for a second, you can see I'm getting my rating back up. When I was playing blue-green, I was even playing it in like queues. The highest, I mean, I tried a competitive league, but it was a disaster. Even friendly leagues were really, really hard to win with blue-green, in my experience. And my rating just tanked. I was like below 1650. But I've just been winning nonstop with mono blue, and I have to say, I think the deck is just much, much better than any iteration I've seen of blue-green. So let me know your thoughts on the league. Let me know your thoughts on blue-green versus mono blue. Any other questions or comments you might have, please leave a comment. And let's see, check out my Patreon page. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks again very much, and I'll see you later. Bye.